everyone, and welcome to episode 27 of Reputation Rescue at Lazio with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So, lots to talk about before we get into the couple of games today. The games have changed slightly. Originally, we were going to come in and play the matches against Zebra and Milan, but the Italian Cup and the Champions League kind of rearranged our fixture list a little bit. So I decided rather than jumping about a bit, we would still play back-to-back games, but it would be the Milan and the Bayern Munich game. Bayern Munich are our first knockout round opponents in the Champions League. So it's going to be a tough game to play, isn't it? But I thought that would be a suitable replacement. We played the game against Zebra. You can see the run of form since Napoli, which you and I were together last for, has been fantastic. We drew against Cagliari, one of the top dogs this season, and we beat Juventus twice. We beat them just in the Italian Cup on penalties. It was a 1-1 draw after 90 minutes, and then nothing happened in extra time, and we got a penalty win against them. Ronaldo scored in 90 minutes and missed the penalty, so he was the one that missed their penalty, which was fun to watch. And then in the game in the league, we were pretty good actually. At home, we beat them 2-1 quite comfortably, really. It was all right. In between all of those games and around them, we played quite a few other games. And as I say, the only blip is Cagliari. On a really good run of form we are at the moment, which is fantastic. So all of that has meant that we've moved ourselves up a little bit in the league, which is great to see. And today we get top dogs, Milan, AC Milan first in Serie A as we speak, and followed by Bayern Munich in the Champions League. So if we go and have a look at the competition page, you can see that we're currently sitting in third position after 23 matches. Today is the 24th for both Milan and Lazio. A couple of rounders have already played their 24th game. If we can pull away from Napoli at this point, that'd be great. But it seems as though we decided that, or I decided, should I say, that this series was all about going hunting for zebras, as I put it. Zebra being Lazio in this particular series, and we were going to try and topple them in the chase for Serie A's title. But it seems like everybody's joined my hunting party, and we're all absolutely battering Juventus from pillar to post. You can see that they're 10 points off the lead at this point. And they are sinking without a trace. We have put a nail in their coffin recently. We are the one that beat them here. But it's been brilliant to watch them just sink a little bit. And all of these teams come to the fore trying to get to that top spot. As we say at the moment, Milan sit on the top spot, but we are not far behind. If we were to beat them today, that really, really does help us out a little bit. Again, is the case with the system that we play. Our goals for column isn't quite as strong as I'd like it to be, but our goals against is fantastic. 9 goals conceded in 23 matches. I will take that every day of the week. Look at it compared to everybody else's, but we're just a little bit behind AC Milan, but on par with everybody else in terms of our goal scoring. So nothing's terrible about that, but to get ahead of Milan, we're going to have to do it on points, not on goal difference, I would suggest. So it's imperative that we try and get a result today. So I think that's pretty much all I need to tell you about. There's a couple of injuries. If we go and have a look in the squad page here, in the tactics page, unfortunately our left side is decimated today. Correa is out and Muru is out. So that's both of our left-sided players, defensive and offensive, that are out on this particular game, which is unfortunate. We've also got Palombi out as well. And we did make a transfer. In the transfer window, we made one transfer, but it was kind of forced on us a little bit. Lots of periphery players have gone. And the one bit of movement that we had to do was this guy, Cataldi. 27-year-old Italian. He was a complete bit part player, squad player, wasn't getting the game time, knew he wasn't getting the game time and started complaining about it. He was okay, but when you've got Milinkovic-Savic and Locatelli that both play in his position, and Gagliardini as well that plays in the defensive position, you've got a real problem to get this guy the game time that he needs. So That meant that he got cross and wanted to leave. So in the end, we let him go. So I was forced into a move. We didn't spend a lot of money. I'm only here for half a season longer. This is the end of the series. At the end of this season, we gave ourselves 3 seasons to see if we could overhaul Juventus. And so I just wanted a body in. He's not brilliant, but he's passable, and he'll do a reasonable job if ever we need him. But don't tell him he's not very likely to play very much. Shh. But yeah, so Francesco Casata comes in, and he'll fill a berth for us in the squad. So that's the one bit of business we've done. You can see finances are good, which I think is fantastic that we've managed to get through this 3-year period and keep them in a healthy position as well. We've got a Champions League game to look forward to, but first it's AC Milan in Serie A. So with the injuries that we've got and a little bit of a reshuffle because of that, we have Strakosha in goal, Felipe and Acerbe in central defence, Zappacosta at right back, Lukaku at left back, Gagliardini, Milinkovic-Savic and Alberto in central midfield, with Lazzari on the right, Brian Gill on the left and Immobile up top, and pretty much everybody that's fit on the bench. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So I've challenged them to see what they can do to keep this run of ours going. Oh, we're in a little bit of a snowy climate today. Right in the early part of February, I think we are, and the mist and the snow is around. So that could create an interesting dynamic in terms of how the pitch plays. But let's see whether we can keep Milan to bare minimum chances in the first half specifically. They are not running away with the league by any stretch. We're all very close, but they're doing pretty well this season. So we need to show that we're competing with them. So far, so good. You can see the chances are going our way a little bit. The possession is very even, but we're just about ahead of that. So that's a positive sign. And we might just get our wish, which is through till half time. Nothing happened at all. Nothing. Now, it's a good job we've got a double episode on in here. If we get a second half like that and it's a boring 0-0 draw, that would be just bad content to put out. But we've got a game against Bayern to come as well. But this is pretty decent, actually. Away from home against league-leading AC Milan. I'm fairly happy with that so far. Assertively, let's say... Let's go with better team here. Just keep doing what you're doing. Whether it's true or not, we just want them to keep going and keep our focus on not allowing Milan a sniff at goal if possible. You can see their ratings are fairly drab. We've got a couple of better ratings than that. And we're on the ball with Alberto to the far post. And have they given a penalty? He's going to go and have a look at it, isn't he? He's got to walk all the way over to the monitor where actually he's just going to come out and give a penalty. We all know he is. There was a push in the box at the far post. A brilliant Alberto free kick. He's a master of those. And this time he put it right to the back post. And there was a definite push. And the referee had to go and make sure. And he has given a penalty. Fantastic. Here's a chance for us to go 1-0 up after 55 minutes with Immobile. And he puts it in the back of the net very confidently. And that's what you expect from such an experienced striker as Immobile. So we go 1-0 up. We could go defensive at this point, but I think it's a little bit early. I don't want to set ourselves too much the opportunity for Milan to come on to us too much, considering that we've been doing very well in this game. We've got a little bit of a knock to Lukaku, which is unfortunate because he's the one left back we've got currently with Muru out. So I'm thinking we might actually have to change him. What we're going to do is bring Marisic on, and we're going to switch him and Zappacosta will play at left back just because. And then we've got a couple others that we can make. And we've got Brian Gill not playing very well in replacement. He replaced Correa. So Anderson will come in and see if he can do any better. Immobile's just got a goal, so I don't want to take him out. We're going to take out Milinkovic-Savic and put Locatelli in because Locatelli and Gravenberch this season as backups to Milinkovic-Savic and Alberto have done very, very well for us. So it gives him a run out in a big game. Can we hold on to this match? Look at the overwhelmed nature of the body language from Milan. It's all looking really positive. But of course, they can just counter on us one time and then we lose that lead. But near post crossing from Anderson to Immobile. And he fires it against that post. Absolutely clatters the post. It comes out. Oh no, not in the 90th minute, please. Oh, Strakosha comes out and claims the ball really nicely. Fantastic claim there. Good safe hands. Can he distribute the ball well and set us one last chance? He goes right over the top early. The defender misses it. Immobile one-on-one with the keeper, and he's not going to miss from there. That is the experienced goal-scoring machine. That is Immobile. When he's on form, there's nobody better than him at that sort of clinical finishing, and he's doing pretty well for us today, isn't he, against a real top opposition. That is a player who likes to play in the big games, I have no doubt. And it was they got themselves in an absolute mess, those two central defenders, didn't they? Came together and clattered for the ball, trying to clear it. And Immobile found himself one-on-one with the keeper and made no mistake. And we are going to win this game against AC Milan. And that is a fantastic result. What a brilliant result that is. So we're going to heap a load of praise on them. Passionately and very pleased with the performance and the way you played. Fantastic. Let's go and see what that does to our league position. And what it does is, I got it wrong beforehand, and I thought as I was loading through to the match that I'd got it wrong. This is not about goal difference in Serie A, is it? It's about performance against the team that you're on equal par with, and we've beaten Milan. So we go top of Serie A after 24 points, and that is a fantastic place to be. So let's go and have a look round here. We wouldn't send them out to hurt anybody. No, absolutely not. Lazzari got injured. They hurt us. That's shocking. How dare they have a go at us when they hurt? Oh, terrible. Immobile ends his goal drought. You see, this is the problem. We get pockets of goal scoring. We don't get consistency out of the strikers. Greenwood goes on a run for a bit and then goes quiet. Immobile does the same thing. Lukaku out for a couple of days. That left defensive berth is really problematic at the moment with Muru out, but we're going to have to patch Lukaku up, I suggest, for the Bayern Munich game at least, and then see what we can do after that. It was such a good win to go top of Serie A at this point in the season. If we go back into the schedule, have we already played Milan twice, and did we beat them the first time? Let's go and have a look. See if I can find them. No, we drew with them, but no, we didn't. We lost to them 1-0. But our 2-0 win trumps that, I guess. But yeah, top of the league in Serie A on 55 points, equal to Milan. Let's see if we can keep that going as we move forward. If we go and have a look in the schedule again, sorry, I'm jumping around all over the place. We've got some pretty good games coming up. Roma and Inter and Napoli and Cagliari. They're all the top guys in the division this season. If we can get through some of those games and pick up the points around those games, I think we're looking okay. And to be honest, I think we're in for a Italian Cup final as well. We've got Pescara, having beaten Zebra in the quarterfinals on penalties. We've got drawn against Pescara in the semi-final, and we're already 3-0 up. So I'll be able to rotate that team on the second leg for that. But if we're going to have a look at it, the opposition for the final are either Verona or Sampdoria. I think we've got a really good chance of some silverware this season, and we're sitting top of the league. And at this point, we're also still in the Champions League. But let's see what we think about that after the very next game. Give me a second and we'll go through to play Bayern Munich in the Champions League. So here we are ready for the Champions League game against Bayern Munich, the knockout round. And we've had to rearrange this side. We've got Lazzari out, Muru out, Correa out. Oh dear, Lukaku out, really. He's going to be on the bench as a last resort, but injury has swept through this side and we've got a few problems to deal with. So what we've had to do is basically we've got gone as strong as I can possibly go, but we've got Strakosha in goal, Felipe Serbe in central defence, Murasic at right back, Zappacosta at left back, Gagliardini, Milinkovic-Savic, Alberto in central midfield, Buendia on the right, Anderson on the left, and Immobile up top. And a bench of Vavro, Lukaku, Jailson, Locatelli, Gravenberch, Gill and Greenwood. Easy to get my teeth around some of those. Dear me. But yeah, this is going to be tricky. You can see that we've got some issues in the way that this team is set up. In fact, what am I going to do? I'm going to go defensive. I'm going to cause us even more issues in the look of it, but I'm going to try and see if we can secure this first game while we get through the injury spell, and hopefully in the second game at home come out and have a go. And I hope we're not too far behind before we get to that point, but we'll have to wait and see. So the one little change I'm going to make today is I'm going to move Alberto across and put Milinkovic-Savic just in alongside him and put Gagliardini there, and we'll play 4-1-4-1 rather than the 4-2-3-1, whatever it is that we play. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, just to see if we can get a couple of these central midfielders in the game a little bit. We're going to take him and put him in the advanced playmaker role and put everything through him. So we're going to change Gagliardini to a more defensive player just for today. So, because it's such a key game against Bayern Munich, isn't it? Away from home, it's going to be tricky. So this is what I've decided to go with, and I'll live or die by this and just see where it takes us. But let's get into the game and see what happens. So assertively gone in with the underdogs here, go and create an upset, and we'll go into kickoff. All I'm looking for is to suppress this game as much as I possibly can. If we were at full strength, I'd give it a go, but we're not, and we need to absolutely get through this first leg as low as we can in terms of the goal difference between the two sides, and see if in the home leg we can come out and do something with a couple of our players back from injury. So let's see how we get on. But it's Bayern Munich on the ball with a free kick. Cross goes to the far post. We get it half cleared, but they pick it back up again. And Thiago down this right-hand side cuts back in centrally. They've worked it very nicely into Gnabry. Back out to Hernandez. Back into Gnabry. Rise the challenge and puts the ball narrowly wide of the goal. Strakosha had most of it covered, but might not have got there if it was totally on target, but it wasn't. And so far, they've been very dominant, which is what we expect, but we're trying to soak up the play and find a way to counter-attack them. Can we do that on this particular occasion? Can we get a foot in and nick the ball away and go on the counter-attack? There's the opportunity, but there was nobody up the top waiting for that ball. Unfortunately, Immobile had dropped too deep, but he wins the ball off a dallying defender and almost gives us a really unlikely lead, but a couple of defenders got back and blocked the shot. But what a wonderful take of the ball that was from Immobile. Just unfortunately at where it came to the moment to shoot, didn't quite get his angles right. But Bayern Munich again, is that on the edge of the box? Please tell me it's on the edge of the box and not inside the box. We could do without giving away penalties and causing our own downfall, couldn't we really? That's just the last thing that we need. And it's such a long walk for the ref to go and have a look at his monitor, isn't it? They need to cut this down a little bit, I would suggest. Sports Interactive, if you're listening. It's just a bit of a trudge to get through this particular setup. And he's given a free kick. Phew. We can breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief, but of course with Thiago on the ball, anything can still happen. Crosses to the far post and we get a good goal line clearance by a defender. And again, it's Felipe that gets the opportunity to boot the ball clear on that occasion. And can we get to half-time without a goal? We can. We've suppressed them enough. We've got enough of the ball, but you can see 2 shots at goal and none on target. 8 for them and 1 on target. So the conversion rates are not good, but they are definitely having more chances than we are. So how are we going to approach the second half? Well, to be honest, we can't afford to change it. We go in exactly the same way. Assertively, we'll say, unlucky boys, it hasn't been your game so far, but it could still be. That gets a bit of motivation, and just set them out to do it again. Keep disciplined, keep structured, keep your defensive shape, and occasionally look for those glimpses of opportunities. And maybe this is one with a throw in down the left hand side. We've got the ball high enough up the pitch for us to get one decent through ball to Immobile if we work it well. Zappacosta into Milinkovic-Savic and Alberto, goes backwards to go forward maybe. Don't you dare get caught out with the ball. Let's get it through into midfield again. And there's a chance to do that. Goes back again to enter Alberto. There's the through ball. Immobile. Oh, inches wide, wasn't it? It was just so close. But that's what we were looking for. Some good movement of the ball. Keep possession. And then Alberto with a fantastic ball over the top. Corner kick from him. Gets partially cleared. Acerbi picks it up. Don't you dare lose it here. Gagliardini moves it on to Felipe. And the highlight goes. And it's Bayern Munich with a throw in. A bit more highlight heavy now. Things are going to open up. The game is going to open up a little bit as people get a bit more tired, etc. But yeah, can we do this? Can we keep it to 0-0? That would be an amazing achievement if we could do it all the way through this game. I've never wanted a 0-0 draw so much in my life. 63 minutes. Let's think about making a substitution. Get some fresh legs on there. See where we need some. I think we're doing pretty well. Buendia not having a good day. Gravenberch can go and fill that right-sided berth in midfield. Milinkovic-Savic comes out for Locatelli. And then Immobile is not having a good day, but we need his experience up top. So we're going to take Anderson off and we're going to put Brian Gill in there instead. And just pray that Immobile gets one more opportunity and can be clinical like he was against Milan in the previous game. But at 76 minutes, it's going pretty well. I'm really happy with how it's gone so far. But I'm so aware that one thing could turn this around. But look at these conversions on the shots. They've still only had one on target all game. And we have pulled off a particularly good... Have we? We've pulled off a particularly good result here. I just had to hold that thought for a second because they could have got one at the last minute. But they didn't. And we went away from home with a depleted side. We set up the structure and it worked amazingly for us. These match stats are fantastic. More possession of the ball, more shots on target, which is fantastic. More clear-cut opportunities. We played really, really well. And it was only a 0-0 draw. So that's football for you. Sometimes you've got to play for these things. But of course, what we have to do now is make it count in the second leg, and that's going to be tricky. So we're going to come in here and say calmly, unlucky boys, it wasn't your night. Now, that's only just to keep making them push them forward rather than going, well, you did amazing, and they accept it and go a little bit kind of blasé about it. We want them to keep pushing forward. They laboured to a bore draw. They did. That's not my fault, though. We set out to go and do that away from home, and they had no answer for it, which was fantastic. So let's go and check in with the fixture list. We're now top of Serie A. We've got a good sound board to work on with Bayern Munich in the next game. And we've got a few Serie A matches to come. We've got that second leg of the cup final, of the cup semi-final to come. And that's going to be a really easy one, I would think. 3-0 up already. So that's a foregone conclusion. We will play the final on an episode at some point if we get there. So what we're going to do, we are going to come back. Let's come back and play the Bayern Munich game and just give us one chance to see if we can get through in the Champions League against Bayern Munich at home. Having played so well in this game, I wasn't originally going to do that. I was going to come and play a Serie A match, but let's see if we can finish the job and produce a performance at home against Bayern Munich, having done so amazingly well away from home in the circumstances. And then after that game, depending on whether we're in the Champions League or not, we'll figure out the rest of the season. But there's big games to come. We'll probably be playing the likes of Roma and Napoli and Cagliari in the games to come on the episodes, plus cup finals and Champions League knockout stages if we get through to them. So that'll do for today, though. That's where we're heading for the next few games and episodes. So thanks for joining me today, though. Really interesting episode, wasn't it? Brilliant win against Milan. Really amazing draw in the circumstances against Bayern Munich. Can we finish the job? Join me for the next episode to find out. Thanks for joining me today, though. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Join my United City community. The more the merrier. If you haven't pressed that like button for me on this particular episode, please do that for me. Helps to get seen by loads of other people, keeps my channel growing, which is so important to me. But until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.